Hi, everybody. This is Jack Benedict. It's time to talk IUP baseball. We're back with you again, give you an update on what's happening on the baseball scene here at IUP with Coach Anthony Rebyanski. Good to have you along. The weather plays a part in spring ball, so we'll get you up to date on just what is happening. But you've been winning, which is good. And Coach, you're 11-15 overall, but you had put a string together before the Penn State Du Bois matchup of 7 out of 8. So why the reason for the turnaround that's come about? And I know you're pretty happy with it.
Yeah, very. I think a lot of it, you go 0-4 against a nationally ranked team in Mercer, which I'm glad we have them out of the way, obviously. But hopefully we'll see them again down in the tournament area. You could easily quit, after going 0-4, being 3-13 at that point in time overall. The one thing these guys that our student athletes have done is they've really bought into, and I've mentioned this before in the past, but just buying into what we're doing. And they haven't quit. They believe that there is something special here, and they've believed in the philosophies and the things that we've had after that Mercier series that we tried to do in practice, in preparation for that next week. And a lot of it has just become, the simple word of simplify, keeping everything as simple as we possibly can at the plate. We did have a lot of guys pressing early on there. We didn't start off very hot offensively. And, some guys were trying to do way too much at the plate. And you just got to trust what your abilities are, and that's what they started to do. And during the Gannon series, we came out, we started hitting the baseball, which has translated in the last 8, 9, 10 games or however long it's been, which is great to see. Our pitching has been very good in keeping us in ball games. Our starting pitching, our bullpen has come in and really helped us out whenever we needed getting out of jams or holding a lead. And as I mentioned before, when all that starts to come together and piece itself together as one, good things are going to happen, and that's what we've seen over the last several weeks.
Yeah, I know you were really hitting the ball. You won 3 out of 4 over Gannon. Then you complete sweep 4 straight over Clarion. I know in what I saw that you were really pounding the ball. And when you look at stats here, the stat sheets, it's very deceiving because the numbers don't show, but the key number is in the win column. And that's what's been happening. That's got to be a confidence builder for everybody.
Oh, absolutely. Once, our guys, the energy level is definitely high, which is great. Even when you're up, down, whatever it may be, it's to the point now where if we are down a few runs, I think they believe in themselves. It's just like, okay, we might be down 3 or 4 runs, but what inning is it going to happen? When are we going to score those 5, 6, 7 runs or whatever it might be, or at least tie that game? When you believe that, that's, as I said, that's going to go a long way, and that's going to carry an offense. They haven't gotten down. They've stayed up. We've made key plays defensively as well, which is good. But when you look at the numbers, we did start off a little bit slow, and right now we're down towards the bottom in the conference with team batting average, and you look at the last several weeks though, and you could say we were pretty close to the top. So when you look at those numbers, you might say, well, hey, this guy's only hitting in the 2s, but for what he's done the last 2 weeks, that's what really matters, and that's what has put the wins in the win column for us, and especially, which is key in the conference.
Any particular guys? I know we don't like to single out people because it is team, but certain guys in certain games do better than others. But anybody that has kind of, shown up and maybe you were a little bit surprised by it, but pleasantly surprised?
Yeah, we've had, the middle of our lineup with Dan Sepik, Scott Hess, Wes Carson, they've kind of re-energized our offense. When those guys hit, good things do happen. Junior outfielder Nate Dickey has really stepped up. He was Player of the Week this past week.
Player of the Week, yeah.
And he had a very great weekend, a very good weekend, and obviously hoping he can continue that trend throughout this next week. But once those core 4 or 5 guys do start hitting, the rest will pick up. We've had guys coming off the bench that have really stepped up. Matt Swartz, who's a transfer from Mercier, come in off the bench, hit a key double. In Butler, I think it was on Saturday. I'm so lost on days because of all these pushbacks. But
yeah, it's tough.
So he came up and then he had a pinch hit home run, I think it was, at home on Sunday, and he's slowly working his way in the lineup. We're hitting baseballs hard. Some guys may not be getting the results of getting on base, but they're doing the small things that do count and help us get those wins. We have guys coming in off the bench that are being role players. I think they've accepted that. It's not where, they're upset because they're only going in for defense or they're only going in for a pinch hit. And I think I've mentioned this before also, but if you get that team camaraderie, that glue, and it holds there, that's going to help in the progression in the direction that we want to obviously go.
Is there any particular area or maybe areas where you see that you still need to improve? Coaches are always saying, yeah, we're doing well, but.
Yeah, we're never satisfied. That's the one thing, and I always tell our guys the same thing. I say, don't ever be satisfied with where we're at. If we win, enjoy the win for the moment, but know that there's more work to be done. Defensively, we've been struggling a little bit, throwing errors, booting some balls around that might be routine. We're going to continue to work on that stuff as we have since the beginning of fall. Pitching at times can go out of whack, but that's normal. We're going to continue to do what we're doing on the mound with pitchers, with working bullpens. And then again, as offensively, it's just continuing to work on keeping everything as simple as we possibly can and not trying to do too much. We had a meeting early in the winter whenever we were still indoors and saying, know what kind of hitter you are. Don't try to be somebody you're not. And we've done a very good job with that and recognize, okay, I'm not a guy that's going to hit the ball to the moon per se. I'm a doubles guy, so we had those guys translate into those doubles guy, and that's what has helped our success.
Let me bring the fans up to date with standings and then what's coming up here. In the West, we have Mercyhurst 11-1 first place. That's not surprising. You are tied with Slippery Rock at 7-5. Seton Hill is 7-7. Cal 6-6. Gannon 5-7. Then you have UPJ and Clarion at 3-9. In the in the East, Westchester's 9-3, followed by Lock Haven 1 game back. Then Bloom, Ship, Stroud, Millersville, Mansfield, Kutztown. Give us a little indication. I know it's still early. You have a lot of games to play. You have the big 4 games coming up this weekend with Slippery Rock. For fans that don't know, the playoff setup, eventually what you're shooting for.
Yeah, the playoffs consist of, and they'll be in Johnstown this year at the point, they'll take the top 4 teams from each side, so 4 from the East, 4 from the West. Pairings on that will be 1 will play 4, 2 will play 3. And times obviously are just kind of all TBA right now. But
then do they cross over?
Yeah, the way the bracket is, the one from the I don't know which side this year, but 1 will play 4, however, whatever time wise per se. But they do cross over, and then the bracket does switch eventually throughout the tournament. So
okay, get an idea. Slippery Rock, as of now, is scheduled on Friday before Easter. On Saturday, Slippery Rock at home.
Yes.
You said if that gets rained out, you would bump it to Monday. How's the pitching set up for you? What are you looking at? How your rotation here?
Rotation-wise, we're just going to match up. It's going to stay as is. We're looking to go 1 versus 1, and the reason the conversation does come up with you want to try to do something different. In the back of mind, sometimes you want to, and because Slippery Rock's ace is pretty good. He's a low 90s guy with a power curveball who could be a potential draft guy here. But at the same time, you think about it, and I've gotten burned on that before in the past.
So you feel 1 against 1 is the better matchup?
Yeah, because it's. You're not going to change anything. You're changing a guy's mentality. If you got a day 2 starter that throws game 1, you bump him up to the first game on a Friday. There's a little bit of difference there. In a mental preparation, so to state. So we're going to keep it as is. We're going to keep it 1 versus 1. We're going to go down through the list and hope that our bats continue to do what we've been doing over the last several weeks and score runs for us. They're going to be an offensive power kind of a team. They're pretty solid. They're 3 or 4 hitter. Walters was National Hitter of the Week this week. So whenever you see that, what he's done. He's been here for a while, so you just gotta try to eliminate as many at bats as you can with him. I always say that with Matt Adams. I know in the past when he played for Slippery Rock, it just seemed like that kid was up every inning. And you start checking your lineup card to see if they're batting out of order.
You want to avoid him, but
right.
He comes up all the time.
Exactly. But we just we're going to play matchups, and we're going to go straight at them with 1 versus 1, and hope that our offense can continue to do what we're doing.
Okay. All right, Rabbi. Good. It's a good update for us, and hopefully the weather will cooperate. We'll get these games in. Go from here. You're in the hunt now, and that's always a nice feeling, isn't it?
Always keeps guys energized, and it's exciting for us as well.
Yeah. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay, Anthony Rebyanski, Rabbi, the coach And we'll talk IUP baseball next time we come back at you. Get a chance when the team is playing at home at Doherty Field, get a chance to come on out and see them play. This is Jack Benedict. Have a nice evening.